the reason I wanted to present to this group was a couple of things. One is to have, well, to share what we've done, which I think is kind of interesting. And let me introduce, so I'm an instructional and media developer with the Chancellor's Office, and my area of responsibility is CalStateTEACH. Terrence Scheck is a programmer. He's an independent contractor who's been working with me on this project for a couple of years. And so partly we wanted to share what we've done, and if things look to be of interest here, Terrence is available. But let me walk through what we've done with CalStateTEACH. So first of all, the basics of CalStateTEACH. We're kind of an unusual program that many people don't know about, or I'm not sure what people know about us, so I'll say. So we're a teacher preparation program, started about 20 years ago. We have about 1,000 teacher candidates at any given time, about 100 faculty, and about 10 administrators. The program is delivered over 3, 4, or 5 terms, depending on what somebody's needs are. If they have the time and bandwidth to spend a lot of time studying, they can do it in 3, but if they want to stretch it out, they can do it over 5 terms. And it is focused as being a mobile delivery, and we use iPad as a delivery platform. So again, the things that are different from many programs, we have no classroom instruction. The curriculum, rather than being designed by individual faculty delivering their curriculum, is designed by a group of faculty for all the other faculty. All the instruction has been online since the beginning of the program about 20 years ago. We've used different LMSs over the years. A few years ago, we started experimenting with Canvas for just some particular components of the main curriculum. And we had an opportunity, as there was being a major redo of the entire curriculum. We didn't have an issue of migration, but actually creation of a whole new curriculum that is delivered through this hybrid system we've done. So we have teacher candidates that are all over the state and in other countries as well. Faculty members actually go and visit the teacher candidates where they are student teaching, which is, I think, unusual. We use Zoom extensively. It is the way that, for international students, it's the way observations are done, but we do a great many meetings and work between people with Zoom. So when I say we're spread out over the state, we really are. The teacher candidates can be in any community in the state, or, like I say, elsewhere. So therefore, we have faculty that are spread out all over the state, and the faculty then have a radius of students that they go and visit. We have a spiraled curriculum, so rather than individual courses, there is a single curriculum that touches the same topics at multiple times as is appropriate with the curriculum. The objective of what I'm showing you now is to try to figure out a way to minimize the friction for teacher candidates and faculty in using the technology. We don't always succeed, but that is what we're trying for here. So by example, so our two groups, the teacher candidates and the faculty. The teacher candidates use books that we author through iBooks Author and deliver in the Books app on iPad or Mac. Then the program provides them with an iPad, and they can actually complete the program on an iPad if they want. So, and the links within those books take them directly to assignments in Canvas. They can also go through their own dashboard and get to assignments. So there are actually sort of 2 ways they do this. Faculty, the suggested method is for them to go in through the dashboard I'm going to show you, and that can take them directly into SpeedGrader. So, and this is the path I'm going to show you this morning. And I'm going backwards. Let's not do that. Okay, here we go. Forwards again. So the technologies we use, or the modules that we've created, we have a couple of different dashboards that are constructed as LTIs. These are apps that are running in the cloud. And there's one that is for modules, one that's for observations. I'll show you both of those. Another aspect is modifying SpeedGrader through a functionality Canvas makes available called JavaScript injection, which allows us to change some of the behavior within SpeedGrader. We also have links that are made through Canvas. And we also use Python scripts as a way of doing archiving of artifacts so that we can have an independent archive. So we have a 7-year backup of artifacts. So this is one of the dashboards. And this is actually from the current term. So we're about halfway through. Where there's no work, this is a test student that only if the faculty member wants to put in work, there would there be. The green, well, let me show you the key here. The green indicates that it's all done. That is, things are born as white. So that means that the activity has not been started. Each of these little blocks represents a single assignment within a module. And across here is the entire work for the term. So, for example, the yellow indicates that a student has submitted and this faculty member hasn't looked at it yet. If there were red blocks, that would be work that had been kicked back to the teacher candidate. And if it's green, that means it's all completed. When a module is completed, there is a letter grade given for that module. And the block here is indicating we have a rubric at the end of each module. And this is indicating that the rubric has been completed. In the cases where there's an asterisk, this is indicating that the teacher candidate has touched this work within the past 48 hours. So it may be the faculty wants to give it some extra attention. Another dashboard design we have here is around our observations. We have a tool we've developed called iSupervision, and it's similarly color-coded. The kinds of things that are being done in this are a little bit different and they're very particular, having to do with the design of a lesson, an initial video. So a whole sequence might have a lesson description, a video of teaching that lesson, a reflection on it, and then an application video. So I'm not going to do the detail of that. That's kind of a longer discussion, but this is another tool that we've created a dashboard for. The other thing I was mentioning was JavaScript injection. So here is a typical panel in SpeedGrader. Now, traditionally in SpeedGrader, if you want to jump from student to student, you have arrows on either side of the student name. What we've added is arrows on either side of the name of the assignment so that you can jump to adjacent assignments. Because in our case, you may want to look within the module for a particular student and compare work across without having to jump up and down in navigating Canvas as you usually would. Another feature we've added is an assignment description. And the reason we did that is because, unlike your case where most of your courses are created by the faculty that are delivering them, in those cases, people, I'm sure, have a great understanding of what it was they asked for an assignment. In our case, since it's centrally controlled, there's no particular reason a faculty member would necessarily have a recall of that. So if they click that, they actually get extracted from Canvas the assignment description as it shows up in the assignment within Canvas. So those are enhancements we've made to SpeedGrader itself. Now I'm going to show you a little walkthrough. This is of what a faculty member may go through when they're looking to grade an assignment. And what this will do is we'll play through and it will show the sequence. And then I'm going to rewind. And then I'm going to give you sort of a behind the screens view of how this works. So let's start. So the faculty member can start on the portal, say they want to grade work. So now we're looking at all of the teacher candidates for this faculty member, and say we want to look at this one. All of the greens indicate this is a teacher candidate who's already done this work. It's been evaluated. Here's some work waiting to be evaluated. But let's look at this one for a moment. And say I want to look at this particular assignment. Now we're in SpeedGrader. And within SpeedGrader, I can grade as I would usually, but because of our JavaScript injection, I can also do things like look at what the next assignment is and what this person did there. And if I'm not too clear on what was being requested, I can click on the assignment description. Now I'm going to rewind. So now I'm taking you behind the screens and showing you just sort of what's going on in the server world while this plays through. So initially the portal triggered Canvas. Canvas talked to the LTI and to the dashboard LTI, and everything that's being seen on the faculty member screen here is being generated from this dashboard LTI. It's going to drill down. Yeah, so I'm just now getting to the point where I'm going to click on an assignment to take it down to another level. We're still using the dashboard LTI, which is in communication with Canvas for data it needs. And now the communication with the dashboard LTI is going away, and I'm directly, the browser is directly showing me work in Canvas. All of the, and what I was talking about before in terms of the enhancements of being able to jump across between assignments is all being handled by the JavaScript injections. And now we're done with that. So this is just a different kind of visualization of what is the traditional sort of architectural drawing, which is, here is the obligatory architectural drawing. And what I was showing you this morning was just one path where you started at the portal, which communicated with Canvas, which communicated with the LTI, and the music goes round and round. There's a lot more to this, but I thought this would be give you a good flavor for some of the things we've done. And then, of course, we have to have an obligatory set of jargon. So this is all relevant jargon to this, and if you are interested in such things, this is to try to help satisfy that need. But rather than make it jargon rich, I thought I would make the presentation a little bit more straightforward. So I think we're at a point where we can do Q&A.
And I did miss a question a little further up about, and I think this is in relation to the LTI. It was, are these acquired from other vendors, or is it something?
Oh no, this is custom. I wrote that.
So there are LTIs that we have that are provided by vendors. So for example, the books that we use, Red Shelf Books, and Red Shelf provides an LTI for us to access their books in browsers. and the iSupervision application is provided by a third party. But all the sort of glue that we have here is stuff Terrence wrote, which is the dashboards and the things that allow us to link books easily to Canvas.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I do want to give another shout out to Eddie. I just realized he's on the call here, and he's the one that connected me with Michael so we could take a look at the amazing things that you're doing. It looks like there's another question here. So how did you determine the UI look, and did you get input from faculty or the teaching candidates?
So I got, we work closely, well, I meet constantly with the curriculum committee. A lot of the look to it was derived in part from what we used originally, and then we experimented with a couple of different representations so for example, the modules, the assignments within modules. And the faculty agreed that they really liked this small block kind of representation. So it's what we used. What other kinds of questions do we have here?
So, and I don't know if Terrence, if you want to take some of these too, Terrence, as you're reading those.
Yeah, I was trying to chime in just a little bit. Yeah, there's questions about keeping the LTI updated with Canvas itself, which is definitely an issue. So I'm realizing I have to be just on top of any Canvas API changes that are happening. And then, yeah, for the JavaScript injection, that kind of depends on that SpeedGrader UI not changing too much. And we've had one change I've had to make over, I don't know, like the 6 months or so that you've been using it. But yeah, it's just, I just have to be on top of any changes that they're making.
Yeah, if you're planning on doing this kind of work, it's not the sort of thing where you code it and it stays forever, because we're touching the Canvas API, which continues to improve over time, and there are changes that are made here and there that may affect what you've done, and you need to be able to address that when it occurs.
And then I know Brent had a question too about that. Maybe you might talk a little bit about e-portfolios, particularly now that Instructure has bought Portfolium, and how that might interplay.
Yeah, we're not making use of e-portfolios in the system at the moment, so I don't really have anything to say about that. I mean, the more things that are built into Canvas, the better. And we have gone back, for example, I think our students are more heavily using the Canvas app than we thought they might initially. And it turns out to be a really great way of uploading videos because it has compression built in, which is the biggest problem for our candidates tends to be bandwidth, that these are people operating out of their houses or coffee shops or wherever they can get Wi-Fi, and they often are bandwidth starved. So it's critical that the videos that they upload be small. And we have an app that does some of that, but it turns out now that some of that functionality now is covered in the Canvas app.
Yeah, that's a good point. Does anybody else on the call do any kind of customizations of any sort in Canvas that they want to share?
Henry from CalStateTEACH here. I mean, we've done minor modifications to the UI using the built-in theme editor. So for example, there's an undelete function within Canvas that not many people know about. So I created an additional button, and if faculty go to their settings on the right side where they would do imports or resets, they have an additional button for undelete if they want to use that. But it's minor changes that we used for throughout the theme using the JavaScript files and the CSS files that are already sort of uploaded to Canvas.
And how long ago did you first do that? And has it remained stable?
That we just pushed out recently to our
Okay.
production, so we haven't had to worry too much about that. But as Terrence mentioned, I'm on that list for the API changes, just in case
Mhm.
something comes up, and we monitor those for changes. And so far, we haven't had to deal with that since we just started using Canvas not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean, some things that I hope for the future of this is, for example, right now we have a lot of, I think it's about 17 textbooks that we get through Red Shelf, that it acquires them through from publishers and distributes them for us. To the extent we can, it would be great to go to OER resources. We could construct, what I'm thinking we might do is construct a book that's exclusively for OER materials that would link directly from our other materials, which would be much lower friction than, Red Shelf does a really good job, but it's hard to read text in a browser. So it's a challenge, I think.
Any other questions? Or I know a few people are sharing some of the things that they're doing in the chat. So if you want to take a look at some of those.
I had a question. I just wondered, did they customize the Canvas student app or the Canvas teacher app for the mobile?
No. As I'm not sure, I guess we could ask Eddie. I'm not aware that they make the code for those available. We had an app created that was exclusively for the recording and uploading of videos, and what it does is strongly encourages people to record horizontal videos, for one thing. It compresses the video and then does a really robust upload to Amazon and then transfers it into Canvas. But no, I'm not aware that you can do what you're suggesting. That'd be cool if you could.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I see that we're running up to the top of the hour, and I know a lot of folks probably have to Zoom off to their next meeting. But thank you both for joining us and sharing the amazing things that you're doing. I'll send you a follow-up, so if you want to, we have that online community, and it's great to share a lot of these different things, and you'll get a lot of conversation around it as well. So kind of as we wrap up, everyone that's been able to join. Oh, go ahead.
Just another, I was going to say, this is two excellent presentation, and that it's a nice thing to see, because Kathy and I, we're having a CSU meeting with other folks in the CSU with Instructure Tuesday and Wednesday, and a central part of the discussion is essentially how to use the LMS for assessment and accreditation. So, and we're trying to see, the schedule, trying to see if we can fit Michael to show what it just showed. So thank you. That was really worthwhile.
Thank you, JP. Yeah, so thank you, everyone. Again, InstructureCon is coming to Long Beach in July. And, but just note our March Zoom share, and I'll send out information on that. Megan from CSU Channel Islands is going to join us, and they are doing some incredibly crazy things around digital badging. So I think that that's going to be another really good session. Thanks, Michael and Terrence and Sean. And I'll see you online. Great,
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.